30 seconds to countdown.
Powering up.
Standing by for last picture. Picture's looking good.
Copy that.
Sound is good. Stand by for the countdown.
Copy you 5-5.
5, 4, 3.
Well, good afternoon. It's a lovely Saturday here in Juma. Sorry for the few minutes late start. We had a slight fuel emergency, but we managed to make a plan. And no worries, everything will be good. And basically, like I said, it's a beautiful afternoon. We've got those telltale wispy clouds up high, cirrus clouds, so showing us that it's going to be cold again tonight. And yeah, that's about it. Don't really want to talk too much. We've got the potential of leopard this afternoon. We've got the potential of lion this afternoon, as well as the potential of everything else. There's been ellies around the waterhole, a breeding herd of buffalo. Rhinos have been around a lot, so it really has been cooking from the big game point of view. And I'm sure it'll be a great drive this afternoon. Lieschen is behind the camera. Herman's in final control. I'm sure he's going to be a bit warmer in final control than he was behind the camera this morning. It was rather crisp this morning, so I'm sure it'll be cold later on. But for now, it's beautiful. And before I talk too fast and too much, let's go look for some wildlife. Lieschen, you know how most of the time, or actually all the time when you direct, you always remind us to show who's behind the camera. I presume I wouldn't have to remind you of your own, you know what I mean. And even though you couldn't hear much of what Lieschen said there, I'm sure just the sides of it might have been worthwhile. Nee. Lieschen loves being in front of the camera. Sort of the same as she loves eating slices of lemon. Actually, no, you like eating slices of lemon more than being in front of camera. Lieschen, what antelopes are those little reddish ones? It's actually quite funny. I haven't. Yeah, steenbok. Well done. Steenbok and duiker sometimes can be confused, and it's quite interesting to see these two here because, unless my memory is wrong, but I'm sure I can't remember a resident pair of steenbok on quarantine, well, even when I was guiding here, so anything in the last 7 years, 8 years. One of my many favorite antelopes, so if they do hang around, I'll be quite happy. Plus they look fairly relaxed as well, so that's also good. Duiker on the other hand, the other species, apart from being slightly sort of bulkier almost, or also a bit more brown greyish in colour. Duiker are also solitary, whereas steenbok are monogamous. So you've got a male and female pairing up, and even though you might not necessarily always see them together, they will occupy mutual territory, so we'll see more of them. Have a quick look at the other one. We've missed our opportunity. That's the male. You can see the horns. No wonder this is making noise. It moved. I don't know how that happened. There we go. Sorry, just the other day I noticed this wooden box cover thing I made a while back was making a bit of noise, and it never did. As anyone that goes and drives with me, especially behind the camera, will know I hate anything that makes any kind of noise. I see why. It's fixed again. My apologies if I seem a little bit overexcited this afternoon, but it is truly a gorgeous afternoon. Obviously I had a good night's sleep last night, and that also helps. But to add on to that, as you know, I don't normally like to preempt things too much. I rather try and preempt the surprise and then let it happen when it does. But I'm going to do it a little bit different this afternoon. I'll just give you a bit of possibility of what we might see. Now, many of you will know her, some of you might not have seen her before. But a young leopard called Saseka, also known as Tandi, both of those names just incidentally meaning beautiful. Seseka means beautiful in Shangaan, and Thandi means beautiful in Zulu. Basically, that's the leopard I'm hoping we'll see this afternoon, if I understood Ephraim correctly. It should be her, but like I said, no, not 100% sure. But it's also the same leopard that you followed this morning with Rex, and those of you that made the morning drive. So actually, Herman, sorry, we saw each other briefly at camp. Can you confirm, was it Seseka this morning?
Affirmative.
Thank you. So yes, it's almost certainly Seseka. Now, after all the action and enjoyment you had with Rex and Herman in the vehicle, not long after that she actually made a kill. I think it's a bushbuck. And Andre from Arathusa, who again some of you have met at Fireside, he saw it, and touch wood of course. She's got it up in a beautiful big jackalberry. It's quite a spectacular setting, the area. So I'm hoping that we're going to have some awesome views. So if you maybe have some friends that haven't been on drive with us before, and they want to join us on the Saturday afternoon, or I guess Saturday morning if you're in a different time zone from us, or Saturday evening depending on where you are, it'll be a nice afternoon for them to come and join. And what I am of course doing is setting myself up for a problem if she's not there. That's why I never try and preempt, but the fact that she had a bushbuck and that she had it up in the tree all suggests that we should find her. So we'll know that in the next 5 minutes or so. I'm going to try and be quiet for a little bit before then. It's me this afternoon. Leopard! But let's get there first. Well, a questioning from Liz, and well, fortunately or unfortunately I didn't see it. Liz is just referring to an elephant that was drinking at the waterhole earlier today, and we are going to try and look around for it this afternoon. I also want to have a word with Charles about it, basically so we can let the call it the authorities, if you want, it's a bit of a formal word, let the management of the game reserve know. But Liz is just asking about an elephant that was at the waterhole that had a very shortened trunk. Now obviously something has caused that, and Liz, like I said, I haven't seen it personally, and I will try and find that herd if possible later on. But the only logical explanation for it, I mean there's one or two other explanations I guess, but I can't really think of any. The only logical explanation is that it would have been caused by a snare of some sort, and also it could have been a snare from a very different part. It's not necessarily from this area. It could have been further north or south or east, anywhere that it could have happened. And basically a wire snare around the trunk would eventually have basically amputated the trunk, and that would cause it. So it's from the sound of it, also Mark was saying it looks quite raw still and uncomfortable. And also Liz was commenting how difficult it was to drink. It was just squirting the water. Now there's a few different things to mention about that, and it's important that we all understand the different steps of it, because it can obviously be very emotional, something like that, which it is. For that specific elephant, it's not nice. But first, it could have happened in a very large area, and I don't think it's happened in the sands area. If it happened in our area where there's lots of game drive vehicles, someone would have seen it prior to the actual fact of the trunk being shortened or amputated, and they would have been able to step in and help. So I'm guessing maybe Manuletti or even Kruger's side,